Okay, as soon as it goes live.
אתה רוצה שאני אראה שזה
No,
פה?
no. You're
אמרת
gonna.
לראות...
I'll see. Okay, and we're live. So you've got Mel today with a very super special guest for the first time in the Ulpan, in our studio, which is actually our house, with my dear wife, Shuli Sapir Nevo. Hi, Shuli.
Good evening.
Good afternoon. And we start with the jingle as always, right? Don't you just love the jingle? You don't have any choice, though. And here we go. Okay, just have to figure out how to play it to get rid of this thing. Go, baby.
Get a chair, grab a seat, or we'll sweep you off your feet. We move, we groove, you got Mel. Ease your legs, rest a while, all you gotta do is smile. We're swell, can't you tell? You got Mel. Oh, when the show begins, you better hold on real tight. Or before you know it, you'll be high as a kite. Take a break, settle down, we're the only show in town. It's our road, don't you know? You got Mel. Give it up, don't think twice, we're a hurricane on ice. What the hell, give it yell, ring a bell, show and tell. Mademoiselle, give a smell, you got Mel.
You've got Mel. And Mel has Shuli. So, without further ado, here we are in our house. And shalom
What
to
a
everybody.
change.
Hello,
All the
absolutely.
time we
Yeah,
outside.
exactly. Here we are together. So, Shuli, would you like to first tell everybody in about 60 seconds who you are?
I think you know you can do it better.
No, I'm not going to do
Yes.
better. No. Shuli has two hats today at least. One is as a supreme advisor to business people and to any professional. I'm one of her best clients, even though I don't always listen. And secondly, she's a wonderful author, poet, and also the CEO and main spirit driving our books, which we might talk about too. So how's that?
You do it. You did it better than me.
Okay, so I guess the second question then is Beatles. When I met you, you were a Beatles fan. You've
Okay.
always been a Beatles fan. So on the show, we ask people to pick their favorite Beatles tune. You have a favorite Beatles tune?
All my life, I will give to you.
Really? All My Loving? Do you want to hum a few bars?
Oh no, I can write words, not sing.
Okay. So this is in English. I forgot to tell you. Sorry. You don't want to talk about your life a little bit?
Yes, but you said you want to hear the Beatles, no?
Yeah, but I wanted to hear you
So
sing.
maybe you can sing it.
Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. I didn't know that was your favorite song.
Oh well, I have many
Oh, my
favorites.
love.
Right this moment.
I think it's Adara's
If you
favorite
ask
song
me,
too.
if you ask me in an hour, it's going to be something else.
Okay,
I'm a Gemini.
you're a Gemini. That's right. So, okay. So try and give answers that are going to be true an hour from now.
Okay.
What is the secret of success of business people? There are people who are CEOs today of big companies who owe their success to advice that you gave them. So I want you to give our audience some free tips here.
Okay.
How to succeed.
So
Here, look
eventually,
right here. Look here in the audience.
eventually, there are two important things. One of them is knowledge, and the other is the tools. The knowledge, as depends if it's in your business, then you have to know everything about this business in the area, in the world. If you manage people, you have to know your people very well to manage them, to mentor them, to develop them. Once you have knowledge, you have the power. Now the question is how to handle and how to manage with the power, which is like
You
the
mean the knowledge
material.
of what's going on in the company?
Not only on the company. And if it's a business, it should be all over the world, everything. You have to be up to date. That I call knowledge. That's a thing that you buy by studying, by learning. Now we come to the tools, which I believe more in developing your own self tools. I believe because I think every person is a different person, and there's not a recipe how to be a best manager, mother, or whatever. And beside that, everybody can do things that suit to him. You can't ask a monkey to be a tiger. It doesn't work. So I believe that everybody should have his own compass. Like you must, you can hear advices, you can study, you can learn, but the last word and the decision must be yours. And as long as you sharpen your senses and logic and use experience and insights and develop this inner of you, then you manage better. As I say, you must listen to everyone. If you have a meeting, like I would ask everybody who's participating in that meeting what his opinion. Not just start to argue between them, but I want to know in the whole circle what they think. Then I have to make a process of all I heard, what I know, how I feel about it, and go with the decision that my heart and my mind leading me.
Okay, but you talked earlier about a compass in your heart and your
Yes.
mind. Some people have compasses and some don't. You have a compass and I don't have a compass. You know when you've written a good poem. I don't know that I've written a good story until other people tell me it's a good story.
Yes.
So how can you develop a compass? I mean, we've been together all these years and I've never developed one, and you have one since the day I met you.
Okay. Yes, campus is something like I think you were born, educated, raised like that, developed by the years. Trust yourself. You build it step by step. If you don't have it, then you have to have somebody to help you to recognize, to find this in it, and just to grow it like a little plant. Give it water, give it air, and slowly, slowly make the person trust his own feelings, his own decisions, and give him support to reach to that point. Because I believe that a good advisor is should be able to take the person as high as he can go with his potential, not with other else potential, with his
So
potential.
first of all, you have to determine the character of the person.
Yes,
The person has to study a lot about his profession. He has to be very knowledgeable. He has to listen to the other people in the room. And then he has to make decisions based on his personality.
yes. And if he can't, he will make more talks, advice with people. But in the end of the day, if you are a manager and the responsibilities on your shoulders, then it's you that have to make the decision. It can be based on all the things, but the final decision must be yours.
Okay, but I remember we grew up on Adijas and so on.
Yes.
So if you have certain characteristics, if you're a monkey, then you should take a tiger as your assistant.
Exactly. It's always good to have in a company people who have talents in other fields, because as Adidas say, we work like, and he was, I think, one of the first ones. There are a million advisors and systems, but he says that it's like a team, it's like a hand, and all the fingers are different size and shapes. And when you have all the same, you can do this. The things that you can do when people are different. And now, of course, if a manager, you need a certain character. And if you are a marketing person, you need different skills.
So it's also about finding the job that suits your personality.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe that what suits you the best is what you love to do the best.
And you also have an ability to read people. I noticed this. You can
Yes.
speak to somebody for 2 minutes and know who they are. How do you do this?
Because I listen, I observe. Listen and observe and ask, and I let the person feel comfortable with me, share things that happen in my life. I'm not ashamed to show my weakness, and then the person feel more comfortable and he's also open. So when you reach the point that the person that you interview or talk to feel comfortable with you, then you got the real him or her.
So a manager should actually show his weakness?
It depends what you say. In a manager, it's is it what kind of a conversation? If it's work, no. But if it's first interview, for example, he can give one example. Yes, he's a human being. He can say, you also speak about your success, about your failures. We learn from those things. It's called experience. After all, those who don't dare don't make mistakes.
So when I met you, you were the youngest captain in the Israeli army. And then you went on to have a career in the army, and that helped you in your profession.
Yes.
So explain what you did.
Where
Wherever you want to. This is your show. You can talk about whatever you want to. You can talk about.
Okay, what I did is in the army. My last job was planning.
But look here. Look at the
planning all the courses of the army. It was a huge job, but I enjoyed everything. First of all, because I'm very patriotic. Second,
Indeed, yes.
Yeah. Second, it's give me a place to develop my character, my talents as a manager, because I think what the army does, which is very good, recognize you when you're young, at 18 years old, if you have skills of being manager, officer, and then they develop them. It's the right age, because you're not stubborn on that age. You're ready to learn. You're not cynical. You don't have that experience not to listen to others.
So the army targeted you as an officer.
Yes. And then give me the chance. And then, of course, I stayed like 10 years. I developed my careers. I did lots of jobs. After that, I was in Israel Chemicals.
Yes, and you actually, this is a true story because I remember, you were chosen out of 250 candidates.
Yes.
How did that work? Nobody knew you there. You weren't the niece or daughter of anybody.
Yes. Well, actually, I think that I was very, very naive because I came from one system to a system that I don't know at all. And in a way, I was sure they're going to choose me because the job was, the description of the job was planning all the courses for a big concern, which has 25 companies. And I say, well, I did planned all the courses. I was working.
So you persuaded them that you were the best person for the job.
I came with confidence that it's like, and I believe in myself.
But not too much confidence.
No, but I didn't know how it's go outside. Sometimes when you don't know, you come with confidence because you don't know what's. Exactly. I didn't know that there are 200, 300. I didn't know. I don't know how it works.
They didn't tell you that there was 250 other applicants.
Then, of course, the discussions and the views. And I just remember one thing that irritated me is that after all, one of the managers that interviewed me said to me, well, but you're a major. Here we don't work with the comments. What do you say about that? I say, oh, okay. When you knock at somebody's door, you see the title.
We don't work with who? Comments?
We don't give comments.
Comments, okay.
Sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. It's your show.
It's okay, but you're my teacher. Okay.
Some teacher.
So he said to me, how does it's not going to work like that here. So I said to him, when you will knock on somebody's door, you see the title. Okay. 1 minute, 2 minutes after that, you judge the person as what he is, what he worth, not
what's written on the door.
Oh yeah, so it's the same in the army. If you have to move things by power or by forcing, he doesn't go. You can have always people after you in a good way of managing, in a good way of.
You have to bring people onto your side.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So then you got this job, and then you had the moment that changed your life.
Yes.
This great idea. What was the idea?
Yes. Well, after a year or so, I got to know all the people, and there were about more than 300 managers in those 25 companies, and I figured out how come when there is a job available in other company, how come we don't check in all our companies?
Each of the divisions was throwing great people away.
Yeah, or recruiting from outside, and nobody really see what there is inside. So it's, revolution. It's very, very difficult to do, but I was stubborn and I believe in that and I fought for that. and got into trouble because of that. But I believe in that, and in the end, they let me to be in charge to develop that.
You had to convince a few generals.
Few generals,
Jaime Erez.
and I tell you, what was my system? Is my system was like that. Is if I bring the three most difficult managers from the companies, like the Dead Sea CEO, if I bring them to be towards this project, then we can do it. And
So you brought on the divisions.
I brought three, the toughest and the biggest ones. I said.
So you recruited the colonels, and then you brought the colonels to the general.
Sapir, they won't, because always they say to me, "Who say they will accept it? Who say that they will cooperate?" But a smart move is you have to manipulate.
I have no idea.
Manipulate.
Manipulate.
Manipulate in a good way. In a good way. And you have to think, how can I get that target with no conflict? That's
So it's all about getting things done without conflict.
Yes, to try. Yeah.
To try.
And if there is, try to find another way. There are many ways.
Okay. So you ended up being the go-to person in this huge multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, Israeli Chemicals, which is ruining the Negev now, but that's another discussion. And you actually charted people's careers.
Yes, what's happened is that no matter in what job I was, even in the army, people start to tell me their problems, their ambitions, and I find myself getting into this consulting square, I don't know how to call it, and especially when I was in Israel Chemicals, like I would know everything, or the man just spoke to me, tell me.
So you collected a lot of information.
Yes, and I helped the CEOs there to bring in the right information, how to keep the people, what are their ambitions, what I recommend from what I know. And it was great because I had a wonderful cooperation with all of them. And
you were the go-to person there for senior positions. Yes. And you're not even a chemist. You don't know what potash is.
I'm a chemist in human power.
Exactly. So that's your secret. You're a chemist in human power, which brings us to the next question. So you developed a career as a unique voice, helping people find their direction in senior positions.
Yes.
Okay. And alongside that, you developed a career as a writer, an author, poet. You publish books of poetry. You take photography. You make books with pictures and with poetry. And you wrote a novel that was published. How does that fit in? That's like, it's like two different people, isn't it?
I will not say again that I'm Gemini, because this is not the reason. No. This is not the reason.
But if you look here, you can see your audience. You have to look at this right here where this picture is.
Poetry, or being a poet, is something that you don't choose, I think, really. Because there were many times that I say, well, to hell, why do I write? Wasting time, nobody read, nobody cares. But I couldn't get it out of my system. It was like in my blood. Okay, it was like a fire. When you have inspiration, it has to go out. You can't keep it inside yourself. And for me, I write only poetry, only when I have inspirations. I know there are many poets, there are many systems, and I have respect to all of them. But for me, I need the passion, I need the anxiety, I need the...
Anxiety?
Anxiety, yes. Yes, because you feel something in your body, your heartbeats.
I thought I was the expert of anxiety.
No,
you mean excitement. Excitement.
Also excitement, but also it's a physical thing.
Anxiety is charada.
Sorry, I mean all this.
You mean excitement. Charada, I'm the expert in anxiety.
I mean
You're
all the heartbeats, all the heartbeat.
That's excitement.
Okay, all the excitement, okay. Then you're in a different world. I know
You're in the zone.
Yes, I never took drugs in my life, but I can maybe it's the same because you also transfer to somewhere.
It's called being in the zone where people
Okay.
speak to you and
Yes.
you don't listen to the
Yeah, you keep hear the sentence. So sometimes if it happened like in the middle of the night, I say, oh, bug off. I would write it in the morning, but I can't sleep. It's keep like that. Get up and write
Do
that
you have a
sentence.
notebook near your
Get
bed?
everywhere. You will not find me without a pen, no matter where. If I go to swim or whatever,
What happens
I
if you're
always
driving and you have a poem in your
I
head?
stop aside. It happened. It happened also one time when I did exam in university. I was one of the exams that I really prepare myself very, very good. And then all of a sudden, uh, Mrs. Musa arrived, get
The
this
muse.
news, and I had such an inspiration. I couldn't do the exam, so I write, sorry, I must write a poem now. And I left in the middle. The professor called me 2 days after that. He said, I heard so many excuses in my life, but this one, never. I say, listen, I can come now and you can examine me. I really prepared myself. I prepared very well, but I couldn't help it. It worked. That's it. So actually, when I
So
drive,
it's like a force that you have no
yes,
control over.
no,
It's like
tsunami.
it's a
Have to
tsunami. A
step.
poem is coming. I better do something.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I better write it.
Wow. Okay, so that's remarkable. Let's move on now to our books. Why do you love our books so
Oh,
much?
okay.
Other than the
Uh,
fact that you are the CEO and our chief spirit and a major contributor.
I published about 10 books, author and novel.
Made out of paper.
Yes, and I know how difficult it is to publish a book, how difficult it is then to find an audience to read books. And it's a process that sometimes you don't want even to start with it because it's so difficult. Now, our book is a miracle. First of all, a poet, an author, or I think anyone that does something, no matter what, he paint, he write,
That's something visual.
yeah, whatever he had experience, he want to share. We people want to share. And where can we share? Where? We have Facebook, okay. We have maybe other internet web or one or two, but our books is a miracle because first of all, you can apply there all the things you write, you paint, whatever. And when you see that, and then you can share it with people, people can read it. And not only your friends in Facebook, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing when you see that. And it's give you, people read me, people like what I do.
So it's saving thousands of dollars in years, really, because in a couple of minutes you can create a book.
Money is not the issue for me. You make the money.
You've got Mel.
Exactly. I get words. But as an author, the most important thing is the audience. It's like in a theater. I mean, you write and you put it where you write it, you don't publish it, nobody read it. Well, when you see that people reading it, so tell me, how many books we have now in our books?
140,000.
That says something.
That's it. But but the 6.5 years ago, there were 0 books. And this was just an idea that we were investing money in. And now's a good time to mention Ran Stern, our partner and Genius.
And you.
It's all right. And when this is your program. And what happened? Whose book was published first?
Yours.
No, yours.
You published my book.
Yeah, your
one
book.
of my books first.
Of poetry and pictures.
Yes, about the world, yeah, all kinds of
about poetry in Greece or in
yeah,
Crete
and I
or
didn't
something.
really believe in that at the beginning.
No, but when you saw the book,
yes.
you got
I
up
was
and
excited.
you danced around the house.
Exactly.
And that's when I knew we were onto something.
Yes.
And that's when you gave me the green light to invest more money, and it's been 6 years already.
Because I believe you're genius.
And I believe that you're genius. So instead of giving each other compliments, which is less interesting, let's move on to music and dance.
Okay.
You are a dancer. When did you start to dance?
My hobby.
That's with your soul. I met you dancing.
Yes. I love to dance all my life. but the kind of dances changes every time because actually we met in a dance, how we call it?
Folk dancing.
Folk dancing, yeah. And we used to go 3 times
International
a week,
folk
2 times
dancing.
a week, yes. Yeah. And
But
then,
you're also a very good dancer. You have a great sense of rhythm. But music, nada, nothing. Nobody sent you to take violin lessons?
I don't want to tell you what my father says, stick to the words.
He told you to be a writer. But
You're better in that area.
But
But my brother is the musical side.
yeah, but you know, so are you.
I don't know.
So we're going towards the end of our wonderful conversation because it was so wonderful. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to give you now an opportunity to rectify a situation of many years because you are a very musical person. And I think that you are just as musical as your brother. And because you have a sense of rhythm and you love music. And we are going to sing a song together now for the hundreds of people watching us. Would you like to pick a song? Summertime?
I don't know because I don't think I can sing.
But I think you can. So for the first time in the history of mankind, Shulamit Sapir Rosenberg Nevo is going to sing. You can sing in Hebrew if you want. What would you like to sing?
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
That would make me closer to music is the Greek.
Would you like to sing in Greek?
No, I'm just telling you.
No, so let's sing the song in
because
Greek.
once I conquered the rhythm of the Zabekiko, it was very difficult. I know maybe I have something.
Let's sing a song now together in Greek. Mi mo timonis matya mu που φεύγω τα ξένα. Good.
Πουλί θα γίνω και θα έρθω
πάλι κοντά σε σένα. Beautiful.
Ευχαριστώ.
And we're not finished.
Ανοίξω παραθύρι σου.
Boom, boom, boom.
Ξάστε βασίλικε μου και με γλυκό χαμόγελο μια καληνύχτα πες μου.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. My wife can sing. So essentially, I guess what was the take-home message here? The take-home message is that you have to find your song.
Exactly.
So this has been incredible, actually. I guarantee that this was completely spontaneous and from the heart. And I think this is a good place to thank our audience. And thank you, my dear.
Thank you very much.
My
It was a
darling,
pleasure.
Faristopoli Nekamu.
Okay,
It
go
was one.
first.
We didn't talk about your love for Greek and all things Greek,
That's next time.
but we'll talk about it next time. And thank you for being on. You've got
Mail.
mail.
I've got mail all the time.
She has mail all the time.